A very warm welcome in the class of differentiation and its related problems in the field of function of several variables. Myself Rupak Bhattacharjee, Assistant Professor, Department of Mathematics, GIS College of Engineering. Actually, to be frank, this particular lecture is going to be the combination of various types and tricks of the problems depending on the tools what we have learned in the previous lectures. So the prerequisites for this particular class are, first of all, the concept of function of single variable, because it will be linked and uplifted to the concept of function of several variables. Then obviously we need the concept of function of several variables, because this is the requirement of this particular lecture and this is the module on which actually you are discussing all these topics. We also need the concept of limit and continuity. It may not be required directly from the definitions of limits and definition of continuity for the problems what we are going to discuss today, but the concept of limit and continuity for the function of several variables are very much required for this particular class. And finally, we need the concept, the problems from definitions point of view, the problems from technical point of view, the topic on partial differentiation. On what case we are doing the partial differentiation, how we are doing the partial differentiation, what are the first order, second order and their related problems of partial differentiation will be required and used to solve the problems in this section. So proceeding further, we will get first the theorem, and this theorem is related to implicit differentiation. Here we are talking about that if we have fxy is a differentiable function and the equation fxy is equal to 0, then it defines y as a differentiable function of x. Please try to understand. We have one expression related to x and y. Suppose it is x plus y, and if x plus y is equal to 0, then we can write y is equal to minus x, which is nothing but a form of differentiable function of x. And then at any point where fy is not equal to 0, this is the most important part of not equal to sign, because dy dx is going to be fx by fy with a minus sign. So ultimately we have to keep this information in our mind, that if fxy is a differentiable function and fxy is equal to 0, then it can define y as a differentiable function of x, and at any point where fy not equal to 0, we can express dy dx is equal to minus fx by fy. Look at this, y is a differentiable function of x means here y is a function of single variable, and that is why while the concept of differentiation is appearing, we have to think for total differentiation, that is dy dx. And here fx, f suffix x is nothing but del f del x, that means partial differentiation of f with respect to x, and fy is partial differentiation of f with respect to y. Now there are some points to be mentioned, that the function fxy is differentiable and the equation fxy equal to 0 defines y implicitly as a differentiable function of x. Let us take this expression as y is equal to hx. Now since fxy equal to 0 according to the definition of implicit differentiation, since w is equal to fxy equal to 0, then the derivative dw dx, look at this, w is a function of x and y, where y is a function of x, so we can differentiate w with respect to x, so dw dx must be 0. Now computing this derivative from the chain rule, we find dw dx equal to 0, and according to the chain rule where w is a function of x and y is a function of x, we can write that fx dx because x and y, f is a function of x and y. Here it is denoted as capital X, where y is a function of x. Fx dx plus fy dy dx. Now dx will always be 1. Here actually we are treating this as a function of several variables. So fx into 1 plus fy into dy dx. Okay. Now if fy is equal to del w del y, here it is partial differentiation and not equal to 0 because it is the requirement of that fy not equal to 0. We can solve this equation for dy dx, means we are proving basically this theorem. So dy dx, this fx will be taken in this side, so minus fx by fy. So we got this particular expression what is mentioned in the implicit differentiation theorem. Clear? We need this expression to be used in various problems, but the proof is also very important because it is very easy proof, but it requires a very strong concept. Now we are showing the branch diagram what already you were introduced with this branch diagram in the previous class of chain rule. Here look at this, w is a function of x and y, and del w del x is fx and del w del y will be fy. Now f is a function of x and y, so there are two branches, but x is a function of x, so dx will be 1, and y is a function of x because it is the implicit form of y in terms of x. So we have selected that y is equal to hx, so dy dx will be h dash x. Now when we are compiling this thing, finally what we get, dw dx is equal to fx into 1 plus fy into dy dx. Now fx into 1 plus dy into fy into dy dx is nothing but this one, and equating this dw dx equal to 0, we can get the result of dy dx from this expression. So this is the branch diagram which will help you to make your visualization strong. Now we are trying to show you some example. Obviously using theorem 8 means the implicit differentiation theorem, we have to find dy dx where it is given y square minus x square minus sine xy equal to 0. So what is this? This is nothing but your fxy. Okay, and fxy equal to 0 is the requirement of the implicit differentiation theorem, and we are taking this one as fxy, y square minus x square minus sine xy, and that particular theorem gives us this information that dy dx is equal to minus of fx by fy. So fx can be calculated. Fx is nothing but the partial differentiation of f with respect to x. So this part is y square, it will be 0, minus for x square it will be 2x, then minus sine xy will be differentiated partially with respect to x, so it will be initially cos of xy, and then xy will be differentiated partially with respect to x, and we will get y. That is why we get fx is equal to minus 2x minus y cos xy, and similarly fy is equal to 2y minus x cos xy. So taking minus common from this part, we will get this answer as dy dx. Now this calculation is significantly shorter than a single variable calculation using implicit differentiation. What does it mean? If you want to find out dy dx from this part, what we know as our 11-12 calculation, then we have to start it with as 2y dy dx minus 2x minus, you have to differentiate this one, so sine of xy will be as cos of xy, and then xy will be differentiated with respect to x as a product of uv form, and then we have to take this one equal to 0, and then you have to take dy dx is common, and then dy dx will be achieved from this calculation. So but it is much more faster than the calculation, and obviously you will get a more confidence because you are using a theorem on this one. So now proceeding further, what we get, the result of theorem 8, we are actually extending it into 3 variables. extension of this one into three variables, though the chance of having these three variables in our BTech course exam is less, but if you just think about the extension process, what we have discussed in the various classes, in the previous classes, that once you are confident in two variable case, then for three variable case it is nothing but the extension of the idea. So what we have done here, we have differentiated this part and make this dw dx part is 0, and we get fx dot 1 plus fy dot 0, because you are differentiating del y del x, so y and x are going to give you 0, and fz del z del x, because here z is a function of x and y, f of x y z, where z is a function of x and y. That means here z is nothing but the implicit functional form of x and y. Okay, so we get the first equation like this. And similarly here, what was absent in the previous discussion, here we need that z is a function of x and y, so we have to differentiate it with respect to x first, as well as we have to differentiate with respect to y, and similar process will give you this equation. So from these two, if you are actually considering fz not equal to 0, because it will come in the denominator part, we can solve these two equations for the partial derivatives of z, or z is equal to f of xy, to obtain del z del x from this part is minus fx by fz, and from this part del z del y is equal to minus fy by fz. Okay, so this is the extension of two variables to three variable case. Okay, now actually we have used this particular theorem. This is the extension of this one, already we know this one. Now we are going to discuss another example, and here it is nothing but the example or the application of the last theorem or last application, that is the function is of three variable function, and where z is a function of x and y, means z is expressed in the implicit form of x and y. So when we are trying to find out del z del x and del z del y, and obviously a point is specifically mentioned over here, that is 0 0 0, and the expression is given. So what to do? This is our f of x comma y comma z. This is mentioned here, f of x comma y comma z, and then as our requirement is this one and this one, and this relationship is known to us from this implicit function theorem. So our job is to find out fx. Fx means f, partial differentiation of f with respect to x, and what we get, 3x square plus zy e to the power xz. Now it is a very simple partial differentiation which was actually mentioned in the prerequisite. Similarly, fy is e to the power xz minus z sin y, and fz is equal to 2z plus xy e to the power xz plus cos y. Okay. Now as these are all 0, you have substituted the value of 0 0 0, you will get it. So what we say, that del z del x is equal to minus fx by fz. So fx is written, fz is written. Similarly, minus fy by fz. So fy is written, fz is written. Now finally only one thing is remaining, that at 0 0 0 we have to find out the value. So we have to substitute the value of 0 0 0 in the corresponding cases, and obviously we have already checked that fz at 0 0 0 is equal to 1, means not equal to 0. That means this division is possible, because it was the requirement of this particular theorem in both the cases. The denominator has to be not equal to 0, then only we can find it out. So I think this problem is clear. These are the thing actually we are using. Means this is a fundamental what you have to keep in your mind for performing these types of problems, and obviously with one condition. What is that? That is nothing but fz is not equal to. Now in the next part of this class, we are going to solve some problems. We are going to show you some problems. So let us start it from the first one. This is given, and we have to show this is equal to clear. This is a very important problem because this problem can be extended in various directions. First of all, one special algebra is going to be introduced to you, and without using this algebra, I can't say that you can't solve this problem, but it will be tremendously difficult. So our requirement is that we use that particular algebraic expression for solving this problem. So not only the concept is important, but also we need the technical part. Some of you, or maybe most of you, knows this. Still, this can be factorized as this, where omega, all of you knows that omega is the cube root of unity. Means 1. Now, what is the benefit of writing this algebraic expression? I think all of you have understood this one. Still, look at this. You know log of a into b is equal to log a plus log b. So if I can write it in this form, then u can be written as log of x plus y plus z plus okay. Now the benefit is that now we can distribute the differentiation also. So our first job is to find out del u del x. So we will start it from there. Log x, so it will be 1 by x plus y plus z. Then x plus y plus z will be differentiated partially with respect to x. So for this x it will be 1 plus 0 plus 0. Ultimately what you get, that del w del x is equal to 1 by x plus y plus z plus this part will also be with the same calculation, x plus y omega plus z omega square. Now you are differentiating this x plus y omega plus z omega square with respect to x partially. For x part you will get 1, and for remaining two parts you will get 0 because there are no terms related to x. And then for the third term you will get similarly x plus y omega square plus z omega into 1. Clear? In the similar manner, we have to find out del u del y and del u del z. Del u del y will be again 1 by x plus y plus z because into 1 for this y, then plus 1 by x plus y omega plus z omega square. Then you are differentiating x plus y omega plus z omega square with respect to y partially. For x part the contribution will be 0. For y omega part the contribution will be omega, and for z omega square part it will be again 0. and for the final thing it will be x plus y omega square plus z omega, and the upper part will be y into omega square will be differentiated partially with respect to y, so it will be only omega square. Now you got the symmetry, and you can write the expression of del u del z very quickly. So all the required things are calculated by us: del u del x, del u del y, del u del z. So adding them, what we get? 1 by x plus y plus z, again 1 by x plus y plus z, again 1 by x plus y plus z. We can write it as 3 by x plus y plus z. Now plus 1 by x plus y omega plus z omega square into, here we get 1, then we get omega, then we get omega square. And similarly for the third part, x plus y omega square plus z omega, and in the upper part you will get again 1 plus omega square plus omega, means same thing. So what we can write it here as 3 by x plus y plus z. Now 1 plus omega square, what is the value of this thing? This is also another algebra. You know that 1 plus omega square equal to 0, because this you can find out the root of the unity and you can just add them. You will get their addition will be giving you 0. So this part will make this whole thing 0. This part will make this whole thing 0. And finally what was desired is achieved by us, that del u del x plus del u del y plus del u del z is 3 by x plus y plus z. So one problem is there for you. Del 2u del x2 plus del 2u del y2 plus del 2u del z2. You have to show that it will be equal to minus of 3 by x plus y plus z whole to the power 3, whole cube actually. You have to prove this in your home. But the problem is not yet over. We have, along with the same expression, we have to prove another problem, that is del del x plus del del y plus del del z whole square on u is equal to minus 9 by x plus y plus z whole square. What is u? The same problem in the previous problem what we have stated. It is u is equal to log of x cube plus y cube plus z cube minus 3xyz. So here we will use the information what we have already proved in the last slide. So what we have already proved, that we have already proved del u del x plus del u del y plus del u del z is equal to 3 by x plus y plus z. It is already proved by us. We are going to use this. So we can write it as del x plus del y plus del z whole square on u is nothing but we just can break these operators on again the same operator on u, like the second order differentiation. I think you can recall d2y dx2 is nothing but ddx of dy dx, something like this, the same logic. So in the next line what we can write, this expression, this part is already known to us. If you insert this u del x plus del u del y plus del u del z is 3x plus 3 by x plus y plus z. So I can write it as del x plus del y plus del z on 3 by x plus y plus z. Okay. So in this manner now we can distribute it as del x on 3 by x plus y plus z plus del y plus okay. Now only one line is remaining, that the partial differentiation of this one, and the partial differentiation of this one gives us, as 3 is constant, 3 will be taken outside. First of all, this x plus y plus z, as it is in the denominator, it will be squared. Then 3 is in the numerator, or you can consider 1 is in the numerator. So 3 will be differentiated with respect to x, it will be 0, and the remaining x plus y plus z will be there, so it is ultimately 0. Then there is a minus sign, 3 will be kept as it was, and x plus y plus z will be differentiated partially with respect to x, so it will be 1. If it is clear, then we can proceed for the next part, and the same logic will be there because it is symmetric expression in case of x or y or z. So it will be again x plus y plus z whole square, and we can write it as minus 3 into 1, and similarly it is also minus 3 into 1 by x plus y plus z whole square. So sometimes the problems may look bigger by expression, but ultimately they are very easy. Only the one step is remaining, x plus y plus z whole square, and minus 3 minus 3 minus 3, that is minus 9. Our job is done. We have to prove this as minus 9 by x plus y plus z whole square, and we have completed the proof. So now we are proceeding for the next problem. The next problem is on little bit of total differential form. So let us take this problem. It is given that z is equal to 3x square y minus 5y. We have to determine, we have to find the value of d2z. Now here we are using our pre-knowledge, that is d2z is equal to del x dx plus del y dy whole square on z. Clear? Now if this information is only identified and used, nothing is remaining basically. So we can write it as del 2, because just you can distribute is del x dx plus del y dy, and again del x dx plus del y dy, multiplying them as in the operator form, you will get this expression del 2 z del x2 dx square plus 2ab part. So 2ab part will be here 2 del 2 z del x del y, and then dx and dy plus del 2 z del y2 dy square. So if I want to put the values of del 2 z del x2, we need this calculation, and z is already given to us as z is equal to 3x square y minus 5y. So del z del x will be what? We have to differentiate this one partially with respect to x. So 3 into 2 6 xy, and nothing will be coming from this part. So del 2 z del x2 will be from this only 6y, and similarly we can find out del z del y del 2 z del y2 del z del 2 z del x del y. All these things will be calculated in the similar manner, and you will calculate this to get it as del 2 z del y2 will be 0, and del 2 z del x del y will be 6x. Look at this, it is del z del x 6xy. Now if you differentiate it with respect to y, it will be del 2 z del x del y, and if you differentiate it with respect to y partially, you will get 6x. So all these informations are now available for us. Just our job is to substitute the values over here. So it will be 6y dx square, then plus 2 into del 2z del x del y, that means 6x. So it will be 12x dx dy, and then plus del 2z del y2, it is 0, so it will be 0 into dy whole square, so nothing will be there. So this will be the calculation. So look at this, if you just follow the rule and identify it and you can apply it, the problems are not at all bigger. So if I want to perform some more problem related to logarithm, actually I want to give you a problem over here in the context of logarithm, and it will be for your own calculation, because already one logarithm problem is already given. The problem gives us that if f is equal to log r and r square is equal to x square plus y square plus z square, then show that del 2f del x2 plus del 2f del y2 plus del 2f del z2 is equal to 1 by r square. I am not going to solve this problem, I just want to give you the clue only, that your job is to find out first del f del x, del f del y, del f del z, then del 2f del x2, del 2f del y2, del 2f del z2. But all these things will be easier for you if you concentrate on this part, that f is equal to log r, means it is nothing but log of x square plus y square plus z square whole to the power half, and you will apply the property that log of a to the power b is b log a, so it is half log of x square plus y square plus z square. After getting this, then you will do the straightforward calculation and you will get the answer. And one more problem in the implicit form is that y is equal to phi of x plus ct plus phi of x minus ct. If so, then we can show that del 2y del t2 is equal to c square del 2y del x2. This is a very standard partial differential equation, and we will see that if this is the partial differential equation generated from this y, then the solution of this partial differential equation can be claimed as this. So this will help you in the class of partial differential equation when you will be in the next or next to next semester. So, but fundamentally the concept is same, that you have to approach for the similar manner. Here your idea is required on little bit of implicit function. So basically I want to conclude this class over here. We have discussed a lot of problems and these are the assignments for you. You please try to solve all these problems, and finally these are the references what we have used to prepare this lecture. Thank you all. Happy listening, happy learning.